Hello everyone, and thank you for this opportunity. And I'm very excited that I'm a first presenter on this presentation. And thank you, keynote speakers, for these very interesting topics and information that they shared. Today, I will talk about creating safer school, evidence-based approaches to bullying prevention. How can I move on? Okay, so very briefly, why I started studying bullying behavior. I was working at the Ministry of Education and Science of Georgia, where I observed that every single attempt to increase the quality of teaching and learning process was not working when students were not feeling safe at school. And so we started investigation, we started research, what we could do to improve the quality of teaching and learning, and we found out that the bullying prevention was the key in this process. What we learned from different cases was that bullying can cause a severe psycho-emotional trauma. Forms of bullying are diverse, we all know. Victims are feeling very insecure and empowered. Bullying cases have a long history. This means that it's not a single action, and bullying is a group behavior. So, Dean Alveus' definition of bullying I was using during this research. Dean Alveus defines bullying as when someone repeatedly and on purpose says or does mean or hurtful things to another person who has a hard time defending himself or herself. And what was important in this definition and in our research was that this behavior has a group dynamics, which means that bullying often involves not just the bully and the victim, but also bystanders, supporters, observers, victim defenders also sometimes. And so these roles makes it a group phenomena. It has a repetitive behavior. Bullying is not a one-time incident. It occurs repeatedly over time, and power imbalance is also very visible. There is an unequal power relationship where the person bullying holds more physical, social, or psychological power than the target, than the victim. So, according to these findings, we know that we can fight against bullying on three levels: school level, family level, and peers level. And in our research, in my research, we concentrate on a school level. The goal of my research was to study the phenomenon of bullying within the educational culture, and main purpose was to construct a psychological model of its operational mechanism. And we assumed that the bullying behavior emergence in the cases where three major components overlap, and these components are personal aggression, target or victim, and environmental conditions. And environmental conditions for us became the most important part in this whole process, how we can prevent bullying behavior. So we had several hypotheses. Main two hypotheses were: regardless of the level of aggression, a safe educational environment significantly reduces the cases of bullying, and regardless of the level of aggression, an unsafe educational environment predetermines a high level of victimization. We also had two more hypotheses. The cases of bullying occur more often among boys than girls, and proceeding from the facts that it's easier to establish positive school culture in small schools, we assume that the smaller is the size of the school, the fewer are the cases of bullying. So we had our main variables: independent variables, aggression, four times types of educational climate, and dependent variable was victimization scale. So what were the results and how we can interpret the results? The survey demonstrated that two variables of the educational environment, threat and isolation, in combination with aggression, represents strong positive predictors for bullying behavior. And despite the aggression level, the safe educational environment significantly reduces the cases of bullying. Also, according to our hypothesis, we were talking about gender and about the size of a school, and we assumed that the cases of bullying would occur among boys more often than among girls, and in bigger schools rather than in smaller ones. But in these two hypotheses, the survey did not give us statistically reliable data. So, how we can generalize the results? Bullying behavior occurs when there is a victim and the environment allows the realization of aggression. Culture is a strong predictor of bullying behavior, and when we are talking about culture, we mean school culture, school climate, which has several very strong predictors, how and also ways how we can measure the culture and climate. And the probability of becoming a victim is high among among those who experience a not safe environment. So when a teenager experiences a sense of threat, she develops such physical, psychological, or social symptoms that make him vulnerable to bullying. And schools and universities as well should display such an environment where bullying behavior will not be enhanced. And according to these conclusions, we what we should do is that we should work on several directions, like school climate, classroom climate, students, parents, and society. And Dean Orwell's bullying prevention program shows very good results in this direction. School climate means that at school should be created a document which will be main guideline for whole school society, for students, teachers, parents, and that kind of document creates a very safe environment at school. Classroom climate means that what should be done in every classroom to decrease the number of bullying, and very useful is role-playing games. For instance, if someone gives me a bad nickname, how can I defend myself? If my peers don't let me eat lunch, what I bought to school, how can I protect myself, and etc. And the role of parents are also very important. This means that schools should help parents realize that if their children is a bully or a victim, they should react in a proper way. And finally, the whole community. Involvement of the community is extremely important, which means that the school should preferably have an anti-bullying council in which members of the community will also be presented. For instance, alumni of this one school, very famous actors, sportsmen should once a month, once a semester, go to this school, participate in some kind of anti-bullying council where every single other member of the community will know that these very famous people who are beloved by the students are against schooling. And I would like to finish my presentation with this my favorite quote from Hannah Arendt, which is equality is not the result of human nature, but the result of a specific political arrangement. What means that by building places where everyone feels respected and included, we can stop bullying before it starts. So it's up to us, up to psychologists, and up to people who work in the field of education. Thank you very much. And I'm ready for your questions if there is any. Thank you.